Hello, hello, hello. So let's see what this man got to say. Because Tinubu, as you know, has not been seen lately as to even what the stats are and what is happening in Nigeria as far as the elections are concerned. Because ever since he has been pronounced the president-elect, so he has been somehow, you know, being on the low, or maybe strategizing on how to congregate and put his cabinet together, or what have you. That I want to know. But the issue that brought about his name this morning, because it's making some headline this morning, is that he now came out and started to criticize all the all the problems that have been happening about the ethnic slurs and the election or electoral violence. So like some people were saying that the man came out too late, to try to condemn this whole thing because he seems to be the actual beneficiary of the violence that took place, especially during the governorship elections, so that it was so obvious and plain. So it's like a man whose child has gone out to go and beat another man's child, and after coming, then you harbor the child and tap the child on his back, pat the child on his back, instead of you to rebuke the child and condemn, his bad behavior, then you reward his bad behavior, but you come out and you start to condemn the attitude without actually condemning the child. So that is how it seems, and that's how a lot of people are seeing this whole thing, you know, to be. Because why they are saying that is that, first of all, let me tell you, just read or go through what Tinubu just said. He said, President-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu yesterday condemned what he described as isolated cases of infractions, ethnic slurs, and violence that trade the 2023 general election, declaring that elections were now over for the healing process to begin. But the presidential candidate of PDP, Atiku, in a swift reaction, dismissed Tinubu's call for healing after a violent election as the height of hypocrisy. He said this came as the Washington Post commended the general elections, commended or condemned the general elections, stating that despite some obvious flaws in the process, the democratic system had heard and was holding far better so far than might have been expected. I guess that man was paid to do that job. So maybe he was expecting to be seeing heads flying on the streets, with a barrel or cutlasses and things like that. So I don't know what that man was expecting because after all, they never expected anything good to come out of Africa or anything civil. So, but we should know better than that. That that election was fraudulent and full of violence, intimidation, killings, etc. So, but that was not what that man was expecting. He was expecting something more than that. So, but God forbid, it didn't happen that way. He said this is even as the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III of the Islamic Council said, he said, ask those not happy about the outcome of the just concluded elections to seek redress in court and avoid the violent protest. In what appeared a post-mortem of the polls, Tinubu said the polls, which were held across 28 states of the Federation, have brought the 2023 election cycle to a fitting close, while he praised Buhari, the Independent Electoral Commission, and other stakeholders. Tinubu said consolidating democratic governance at the sub-national level will bring more development and improve quality of life to the masses. In fact, all these whole things, all these are very, very, very annoying. So let me put this thing in my own ways and forget about all these jargons. So what everybody is saying, in essence, is that these whole people who are benefiting from this whole thing, or who benefited from this whole thing, from this violence and things like that, they are not talking peace or trying to, create the impression that, they want peace. So that if Tinubu had said this thing, let's say even 2 days before the general elections, or uh, even the presidential election or governorship election, then maybe these so-called Agberos and hooligans, the area boys and whatever you call them, Manilas and coast in Lagos, that were killing people and stabbing people in the name of not being Yorubas or not being Lagosians or not being the Manilas, like they claim, you know, not being son of the soil. That maybe this thing wouldn't have taken place, to start with, because those who have lost their life have already lost their lives. What can you ever do now to bring those lives back? Simply because they wanted to vote according to their own conscience. You know, something that is allowed by law. Now all of a sudden, one godfather that recruit agberos and killers and and what have with his money. It's not he did recruit them by just waste of money. No, and they also brainwash some of them by telling them that these foreigners are here to take what belongs to you. What actually belongs to you? If you have your own property in Lagos, it's your property. But if you sell your property to a non Yoruba and that person happen to have the or buy the property, then the property belongs to him for at least another 99 years, according to the law. So I don't see any reason for fighting. So if it's like you have tenants, for example, it's like you having tenants, in your own community. You build a house, you rent them to the tenants, and these same tenants are also citizens of that land. And when it's time to vote, you are telling them not to exercise their franchise simply because they are tenants or because they came from other parts of that country. It's all about numbers these days. So if you have a local government, where you have 2,000 people, for example, like I always try to use the word 2,000, not in order not to overstretch the issue. For example, and you know that the indigenous people there are just let's say 500. Then you give room to another 1,500 people who came from outside to occupy your space. Why they are paying you for that? I'm even talking of rent. I'm not talking of if you sell your land. And those people start to live there like that, and they start to have children. Why your own children are running to the city elsewhere and they leave that village for those foreigners? Don't you think that those foreigners one day will overpopulate that place and they will take that place from you when it comes to the strength of voting? So that is what Lagos has become. That is what Lagos has become. Because the Yorubas are there, we know. The Aworis are there, we know. The Ilaje people are there, we know. The Ilaje and the Aworis are the original people, of course, that own Yoruba land before the Edos and then the Bende and so on. Then the Yorubas, being neighbors also from Ogun and everywhere, start to come into that same vicinity. And now they have, let's say, overpopulated the Aworis, because their numbers are greater than that of Awori, the other Yorubas who are coming from Ogun and Ondo and Oshun and other parts of the Yoruba land. That is why you see all these things happening even because first of all, Tinubu is not supposed to be a Lagosian. Okay, he's supposed to be a Lagosian anyway, but he's not supposed to be from Lagos originally, or neither Is he supposed to even contest to be Lagos governor? Talk less of now representing Lagos as at the highest position. It's supposed to be for the Aworis and the larger people. If that is, if we have to go by that. But Tinubu, coming from Osun State, you know, has not made his mark in Lagos, have his own ground, hold his own ground there and everything because of the influence of the Tinubu family that once adopted him into their own family, you know, from Lagos Island. Then now he sees himself like city boy, like he always says, city boy, an island boy. That's what he say. That's what he mean by that. Because Tinubu is not a city boy because he was never born in the city. He's a village man, from Osun State, you know. So, but he has lived in Lagos long enough, to citynize himself. So now he cannot boast of being a city boy. But for him now to be the one turning around, to be attacking others or sponsoring people to be attacking others who came just like he came to Lagos, who came from other parts of Nigeria, just like he came to Lagos himself to settle, simply because he speaks the Yoruba language, then the others did not. Then that is the height of all the hypocrisy, as far as I'm concerned. So Tinubu hates other non-Yoruba speakers to the extent that he married an Ishekiri woman, although the Ishekiri woman also speaks Yoruba, because Ishekiri language is more or less Yoruba. So, and his wife married an his son married an Igbo girl. So I really don't understand the hypocrisy there, in all of this, you know. So you hate these people so much who are non-Yorubas, but you like to marry them, maybe because your girls, you don't like the girls that you people have in your own place. Then you people think maybe you have to marry girls from outside of your own race, in order to have some beautiful children and things like that. I wouldn't know the reason why, because the hate somehow is obvious. It's obvious because if not, why this thing was ongoing, why this thing started. Even FFK, who was also married to an Igbo girl, that even have children. And for the Igbo guy, we have I think 4 children for him. Some twins and triplets and things like that. So uh, so even that one also came out, and all of a sudden became an anti-Igbo. I just remember, just like yesterday, when FFK used to be friend of Nnamdi Kanu and used to call him his brother and things like that. So but now I start to think maybe this FFK also have a hand in the capture and betrayal of Nnamdi Kanu. Because Nnamdi Kanu will have trusted this man with his life, I guess. Because I remember one time when Nnamdi Kanu visited him in Abuja, you know, he showed it. He showed it. He was so proud to show it that Nnamdi Kanu, his brother came to visit him and things like that and stuff. So people like this do exist in Nigeria. So I wonder what kind of country that is. So, but my point is, if we cannot live together, let's live apart. Let everyone have his own peace. You don't want the Igbos, you don't want the Jaws, you don't want the Benins, you don't want the Edos, you don't want the Shekiris, the Sokos and Calabar, Efik, etc., etc. No problem. They all have their own land, they have their own waterways. What do they actually need from you? I don't think they really need much from you. Forget about oh yeah, or no yeah. I've always said that because some people always think that it's because of you people are talking like this, you people from the south. No, it's not because of that. Oh yeah, or no, oh yeah. The south have Greenland, the Igbo land have Greenland, and yet the Igbo land have oil. They have Greenland, they have coal mine. In Europe tomorrow, they still use coal mine to power their steams, their energy. Why can't we even use the coal mine, things that we have there in abundance, to power our own steam engines and what have you to power, all our energy crisis system, getting running. China still use coal. Talk less of we having the coal, having the petroleum, and having the gas. What else we actually did? And we have the seas. But the one thing that we always want to do is to come and deceive you and tell you that, oh, you South, you are not Igbos, you are not, and the Igbos are landlocked. So therefore, what they are trying to do is to try to tell you that you are different from the Igbos, So you have to, segregate yourself away or cut yourself away from the Igbos, so that Igbos will now be seen as a landlocked, this thing, entity, which is not supposed to be so. Because we check southeast as it was, southeast, not this one that you are now calling because of states and things like you are carving state by rivers, cross rivers, and river states and Akwa Ibom and the rest. No, it was all southeast. So the access is there, straight to the sea. The access is there, full access. Ask these so-called cross rivers, and Akwa Ibom and the rest. If you choose between going with the Igbos and choose between going with Hausa or the North and choose between going with the Yorubas, they will tell you that they have common ancestry, common culture, common everything, common language, with common tradition. With the Southeast in general, it's as simple as that. Then when you come to even the Edo State and Delta, it's the same thing. Majority will still tell you the same thing. Maybe some will choose to go with the Southwest and say, okay, yes, we have some similarity with the Southwest, etc., etc. But a large chunk of it will say they have a similarity with the Southeast as well. So why all this trouble? Ask even the Benin people, and even the Jaws. They will tell you also that they have the similar culture with the Southeast and the South and the rest all together. So try to check the map and see how you can divide the map like that, and So those ones who have that similar culture, like even the northwest, even within the northwest, you see you can still balkanize some areas there that wouldn't even want to go with the rest of the north. Talk less of the northeast also, the Kanuris and so. Former Bogu or whatever you call it, back in the days, they wouldn't want to go with northwest, you know. So you can see that if Nigeria have to go according to the way they want us to believe, then definitely that country will be into pieces, will be divided into pieces, partitioned into pieces, whether state-wise or region-wise or what have you, and things like that, for everybody to have peace at least. So, if you have a million population as a country, it's not a bad thing, as long as you're making progress and you have your peace. How big is Israel? How big is Liechtenstein? How big is Luxembourg? These are little countries here in Europe. I'm just talking about how big is countries like Oman and stuff like that in the Middle East. You see the little countries, but they are doing fine. You don't necessarily have to join a union where they are segregated upon, where they are not allowed to function as human beings, where they become subhumans in the name of having a big country. Nigeria has been a country for how long now, and yet nothing has improved. Little countries are springing up from all over Africa. Look at Rwanda. Rwanda has sprung up from nowhere after the genocide. Eh? Then look at Rwanda now. Can you compare Rwanda now with Nigeria? As far as economy is concerned, you cannot, except only by mere words and blah 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 by saying, some petty talks. Then you can say, oh, Nigeria, the giant of Africa. Giant for what? Is that how giants should conduct themselves in public? The way they conduct themselves during the elections? A giant should be ashamed of his own shortcomings sometimes, and remember his position. Then with that, you have to maintain. So giant, then if Nigeria, they have to send you as Nigeria to go and represent the rest of Africa, somewhere in the international community. Then you come there, you start to misbehave, and they ask you, one or two things, then you start to say some other rubbish things. Oh, don't mind that man. It's an Igbo man. Oh, don't mind that man. It's a Yoruba man. They say, what? What do you mean by Igbo man, Yoruba man? Is it not Nigerian? He say, yes, but they are from so and so this thing. They do this, they do that. They will look at you like a fool. Oh, they came to Lagos. They want to take Lagos from us, and we are the ones that only. They will look at you like an idiot. As as they want us to believe that the Igbos are this, Igbos are that. Igbos can be everything. I don't care. But there's one thing that Igbos are not, which is one thing you have to know. That Igbos, you go to anywhere, they live there as if they are from there. You don't put one leg down, you know, and start living half-half. They live there, they put everything down, they settle themselves down, then they carve out a livelihood for themselves. They follow it through. So that is it. Is that why they are being jealous? Because as far as I'm concerned, this has to do with jealousy and hatred. Because jealousy breeds hatred. And you might just be doing that without you even knowing. Because an Igbo guy will come now, from the village, he don't even speak English, back in the days, then be, doing one or two things, doing boy, before he have his own shop. Before you know it, he explode. But you'll be there. All this why? That same business has been staring you in the face. Why didn't you just go into that business and start doing it too? If you want to compete, go into the same business and go compete with him. Open your own shop and run things the way you run. No, but these guys will be so envious, you know, envious to the extent that things like this start to happen this time around. So, but you have to be, you have to be a stop, to some of these things. So I've never heard before that during an election year that in Igbo land that they are killing Yoruba or stabbing non-indigenous, non-Igbos because of election. I've never heard it before. Igbos also have cities like Aba, Onitsha, and Owerri, and all the other big Ebonyi, what you call Abakaliki and things like that. So, Enugu, I've never heard under any circumstances where the use of Igbo land come together and start to attack non-Igbos because of election. Maybe because of some other things, which happen all the time in every other places. But why is it that every 4 years, especially in Lagos, the these things are happening? But this time around, nothing like that happened. Even in the north, nothing like that happened. There was nothing like, maybe there's some silent what have you and things like that, but nothing like that happens because everything has to do with population. If you know, for example, that a certain tribe or a certain race or a certain people popularize a certain area and things like that. If you actually want to win an election in that area, bring out somebody from your party who comes from that area, someone who is popular. They will clear that vote there. You cannot just go and bring one Hausa man, bring it to Sabu Gari Kano, to one area there. I said because it's an Hausa man, then he should come there and conduct. Who is going to vote for him? An Igbo man or an Edo man? Tell me now. They will not vote for him. Even if somebody have to vote for him, first of all, it has to be the same people. Then he has to come and canvass his vote. But if this man is canvassing vote, I will bring out another guy, maybe from Calabar, or from Akwa Ibom, or from Delta. I will say you are the one, you are the one that we trust, that can represent our own interests. So join this party, and we give you our vote. Once they see that that man is more popular than that the Hausa man, who is originally from Kano, definitely they will not fight that man. So they make sure that the man that will win the election is the one that is cleared to run for the party. under the umbrella of the party. That's how it should be. So if you want a Jagular's vote, then take somebody from the south or from south or from southeast, to run for that office, for that Ajegule, because they are the same people that own that area, that populate that 90% of the population there are from south and southeast. That is the truth. Ojo, the same thing. How many Yorubas do you see in Ojo? Okoko now, the same thing. Maybe you see Yorubas in Badagry area, the Gugu people. So let's face the reality, the facts, the way it is. So Lagos, even the VI you are talking about and the VGC you are talking about, go there, the same thing, south and southeast. That populate that whole area also. So don't start hitting your chest every time and shouting, oh, yeah, Lagos belongs to us and this and that. Lagos belongs to you from mouth. Lagos belongs to the Aworis and the Laje people. It doesn't belong to every Yoruba man. Simple as that. And nobody is dragging Lagos with you. But if you sell your land to a non Yoruba person, then don't come back, don't turn around, and 50 years time and start to fight the children or the grandchildren of that same person that never did you wrong. Children that were born there, that know that place to be their own home. Then all of a sudden now you are fighting them because of what? Because of elections. If you want their vote, go to them, talk to them. As we're made to understand that you people are so intelligent and so wise and so educated, then use your education and use it well. Don't allow your touts to take over to overshadow the whole issue and start to create another impression. Because now a lot of people start to think again and start to create another impression that, man, listen, this thing cannot be happening in 2023. But it's happening. A lot of people are really surprised, because you guys might not know what is going on in people's head. A lot of people have invested all their lives and everything, their livelihood in that Lagos, without going to their village to go and invest in this thing. Oh, Lagos, okay, yeah, it's Lagos. After all, it's Lagos. I know, and stuff like that. They invested everything. They come to Europe here, send everything to to their family at home to be invested in Lagos, 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 Lagos. Now all of a sudden, it's time for them to vote, ordinary vote, just to cast an ordinary vote. You start killing people. You might not know it because you did not lose anybody, but those who lost somebody, you know, they are giving reports every day. It's not everything that you can show. We can put here on, on the internet and start to show it in the news because of this YouTube rules and regulations. But then that should not give you any leverage to be killing people or to be harassing people because of an election. An election that will not even favor you in any way. Because my town person or my village person is contesting for us, it doesn't mean anything to me. As long as that person is not even qualified to to be in that position, or that person is not even believed to have what it takes to change my life. Maybe the person have what it takes to change his own life and his own family life. Maybe he already have money. They can still do more for his own family, not for his race. After all, the man that brought about the independence in Nigeria was not even a Yoruba man. Attorney Nauru was not a Yoruba man. He was an Isha man from the old Bende, which is now Edo State, right? How old was he then? Maybe about 23 years old. Nobody's talking about that. It's all these Buccaneers, the beneficiaries of the so-called Nigeria of today now. They are the ones who are chasing out like like the ones who went to war to go and fight war and things like that. When people like Attorney Nahuru were fighting for Nigeria independence, others were laying about, and licking the boots of the Yoruba man. They were just comfortable the way they were. They never wanted any independence. Like we all know, the northern part never even wanted independence at all. They just wanted to be the way they are. They just wanted to stay under them like that, and be crawling under the white people. But now all of a sudden the white people has gone. Then everybody's coming out like, oh, we are born to rule. We are born to this. Then after that now, then even Yoruba man now is trying to say, oh, leave Lagos. Lagos is not your land. Leave Lagos. You see, this thing that just happened is going to go down. Is going to go down very badly because people are not going to take these things lightly, not at facial value the way you see it, because a lot of bad blood has been bred now, and that bad blood will be very, very difficult, to separate, you know, in a very long time to come. Because the same people who are shouting now, who are having high blood pressure for nothing now, they will come back tomorrow and be saying, my brother, it's not like that now. It's like this, it's like that. It's like we know because the same thing happened when Buhari came on board. When guys were talking about this whole thing, we said, "Come, this man will destroy Nigeria economy and stuff like that." Well, no, no, this man is this and this and. What do you see that this man? What gave him? What do you think gave him? What does he really have that you see that he's going to use to change the fortunes of Nigeria and stuff like that? And they were just talking bullshit. Some were talking along religious lines, while the other ones were talking along tribal lines, while the other ones were talking along all kinds of lines. That's at that time. So while others were talking along in Nigerianness. So sometimes you just can't be in Nigeria more than the real Nigerians. So that's the way it is. So, but let me just close this issue for now and take another issue because I have another thing to talk about. So that's it. So those who want to go, I mean, move along this line and be doing what they are doing, you know, let them be shouting, "Leave Lagos, leave Lagos, leave Lagos." Definitely, one of these days, it will get to that point where people will say, "Oh, you want your Lagos? Now take your Lagos." They sell their property, even if it's worth 50 million naira, they sell it for 5 million naira. Take that money, they go and have their place, their own place, develop their own place, and start to live there. So you will be the one coming to their place. Maybe you need a visa then to come there and live. Then we see what will happen. So it's as simple as that because all this bullshit is, I mean, everything must have, an end sometime. So countries have been together before, like Yugoslavia, you know. Now they are they broken into pieces, and all the other countries are living fine without having to fight for, for let's say for so much years, the way others would have expected. So they fought a little bit. They saw that, man, this fight will not take us anywhere. Let's divide this country. Czechoslovakia, the same thing. Let's just divide this country. Let everyone just go. So maybe one day they'll come back together. Who knows? So the same way, the same thing applies to Nigeria. Nothing lasts forever. Now the North has found oil, or they found oil lately. So maybe we'll see. I hope it's not the same oil that we have in the south that they buried one pipe from from under the water and stuff like that. I started drilling for the north and say they've developed or they find oil there. That one is another story for another day. But for now, let the south stand up for themselves. If Tinubu wants Lagos and the rest of the southwest, then as a country, maybe we have that one day, so he can be the president of the southwest. And if you want the Igbos to go, then maybe the Igbos and the South will go and have their own country as well. So then he can lord over his own people the way he wants or the way he wishes. Ladies and gentlemen, I close it. Let me wrap it up for now. So I'm signing out. This is your moderator Jay, and if you're not subscribed, please do so and give us a thumbs up and share our videos. God bless you. I'll see you soon.